Ryan Brown from J. Ryan Brown Law. We are talking about the two different kinds of guilty pleas in Georgia. So we're going to talk about negotiated pleas first, and then we're going to talk about non-negotiated pleas, okay? So first, negotiated pleas. And these things get called different things in different places. So one court may call it one thing, another court may call it different. There's different jargon based on where you are. But a negotiated plea is a plea where the prosecutors and the defendant, along with his attorney or her attorney, have come to an agreement about what the sentence will be. So everyone's agreeing that the person charged is going to come into court and say, Your Honor, I know I pled not guilty at the beginning of the case. I am now ready to enter a guilty plea, and I wish that you sentence me to the sentence that us and the prosecutors have agreed upon. That is very important because the judge gets the final word. The judge gets to decide whether to accept that plea or reject that plea. It's pretty rare for the judge to reject the plea in that situation, okay? But if the judge does reject a negotiated plea, the defendant, the one entering the guilty plea, has the right to withdraw that plea. The judge cannot just go over the top and sentence them to something crazy. So if y'all have agreed to a 1-year probation sentence and the case carries up to 10 years, the judge can't just say, you know what, I don't like 1 year, I'm going to give you 10. If he does, you can withdraw the guilty plea. Okay, that is a key feature to a negotiated plea. Now, the second kind of plea is a non-negotiated plea. This is oftentimes in our locale called a blind plea. A blind plea happens when the prosecutors and the defense agree that the defendant is going to enter a plea of guilty, but they cannot agree upon the sentence. And the defense and the prosecution want to make their case to the judge and say, Judge, this is why we think you should rule in accordance with us. Now, there's a lot of risk in a blind plea. The sentence could be anywhere from the very minimums, oftentimes on probation, all the way to the very maximums, oftentimes a lengthy prison sentence. So make sure you're talking to your lawyer about the pros and cons of a blind plea before you enter that blind plea, okay? Now, there's another distinguishing factor between a blind plea or something that distinguishes a blind plea from a negotiated plea, and that is that if you do not like the sentence, you cannot withdraw the plea. So at a negotiated plea, if the judge doesn't accept the terms, you can withdraw it. That is not the case in a blind plea. Once you enter a guilty plea, that's that, right? The judge is going to sentence you, and that is your sentence. So it is a risky proposition, but oftentimes a prosecutor does not value their case appropriately, and the defense can put together a solid argument to the court for a different sentence than what the prosecutor is asking and can be successful in that. So make sure you're talking to your lawyer about those options. So that is the difference between a negotiated plea and a blind plea. Please hit subscribe to follow us for more videos and call us at 470-635-1725 if you have any questions about your case.